We can practice Vipassana anytime and anywhere in our daily life. Practicing with mindfulness, we use the 4 foundations of mindfulness as our base. We are already on day 10 of the 10-day Vipassana retreat, and we have learned a great deal, including that part of the Dhamma called the Abhidhamma, the supreme, analytical doctrine of the Buddhist canon. This doctrine outlines the principles of teaching and learning that lead to right understanding and right practicing so that we can achieve the right result. From the beginning, we have learned how to practice by observing the 8 precepts and the results of observing those precepts. We have learned how to develop mindfulness, how many kinds of mindfulness there are, how many ways of practicing meditation there are, and how to attain concentration. We have learned what right and wrong concentration are and the benefits of developing concentration. And we have learned how to practice Vipassana, or insight meditation, and have spent a lot of time practicing to understand the principles of this practice. During the retreat we observed noble silence together. Noble silence is useful because it helps us control our speech and abstain from wrong speech. Abstaining from speaking helps us maintain the precept regarding lying and negative speech, and helps us develop right speech on the Eightfold Noble Path. As practitioners, we should not only refrain from speaking but should also be able to control our mental, verbal and physical actions. We should be modest and reclusive and not socialize and wander around, but should make a strong effort to practice, and we should train to develop morality, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. If we still spend time socializing, talking with other people, and are not mentally composed, we may unintentionally slip into negative speaking, such as lying and using impolite, indecent, disdainful, harsh and nonsense talk. These cause the mind to stray and we lose our concentration and have difficulty meditating. Whenever memories arise and we become aware that we are violating a precept, we feel guilty. Therefore, we must make a firm commitment to maintain persistence in observing noble silence, so that we have the inner strength to deal with both pleasant and unpleasant contacts. Even though we're among a lot of people, we can observe the phenomena that impact the mind and our reactions to them. Whenever there is contact at the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, or mind, and mental reactions and formations, craving and desire arise, whether pleasurable or unpleasurable, happy or unhappy, the well-trained mind will see the contact and effects but not be drawn to the sense object, to the person or thing that caused the mental reaction. We will merely observe and be aware of our mind. Therefore we need to abandon the defilements that have caused us suffering and taken root in us, becoming ourself. We are practicing Vipassana or insight meditation to develop mindfulness, concentration and wisdom, to learn and clearly understand that the body and mind that we hold on to and are attached to as ours, are actually not ours, that they are not under our control. Through Vipassana, we observe the arising defilements and craving caused by contacts, the activities of body and mind, as they really are. We are aware of the 3 mental aggregates, feeling or sensation, perception and mental formation, but don't indulge in or become lost in sense objects. Vipassana, or insight meditation, means seeing things as they really are and leads us to wisdom and the removal of the causes of suffering, which are craving and clinging, and to the abandonment of the false sense of self that we have nourished for a long, long time. Moment to moment we can practice Vipassana meditation to purify the mind and uproot the deep-seated defilements. The important point is that if our mind is the right mind, the seer, or knower mind, always in the present moment, when there is contact, the mind will stably, impartially and objectively observe and be aware of our mental reactions, like or dislike, pleasure or displeasure. With mindfulness, right concentration, and wisdom we are able to handle the situation in the present moment without being deluded that there is a self involved. On the other hand, a deluded mind will lead to craving and clinging to control us to perform mental, verbal and physical actions and accumulate future suffering. Whenever there is a volitional action, its consequences of birth, aging and death follow continuously at each thought moment, every moment of thinking, and we fall into the cycle of suffering. The way to get out of this cycle is Vipassana. We need to train the mind and learn to gradually get used to eliminating ignorance, to be mindful, to have right concentration and become the seer or knower mind. With right mindfulness and right concentration, we are aware of physical and mental phenomena in the present moment as they really are and see the separation between the body and mind, form and name. Being at the base or foundation of mindfulness and concentration, the knower mind can objectively observe this separation in the domain of the aggregates, the elements, the sense doors, the cycle of dependent origination, the sense faculties, or the Four Noble Truths. Being in the present moment, the knower mind will be aware of the interdependent processes of these phenomena. Right concentration or knower mind will be aware of the contacts and reactions, and of the arising and passing away of the corresponding sense objects. With wisdom, the wise mind will see the three marks of existence: impermanence, suffering and no self. We need to work diligently, persistently and continuously to train the mind in the four foundations of mindfulness to be a seer or knower mind, and to develop right mindfulness, right concentration, and wisdom, so that we will be able to notice the arising reactions. We are here to practice because we want to remove and clean up the defilements, layer by layer, and purify our negative thoughts. Most of us are deluded by sense objects and full of defilements, greed, anger and delusion. Our mind always strays to the outside, is always restless and not mindful. Vipassana, or insight meditation, helps us to heal and correct both the body and the mind. Among the five aggregates, form is physical and the other four are mental. Most people tend to pay attention to and value form more than feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness. Actually, all of the five aggregates have the same qualities: arising, passing away and being uncontrollable. Each of the five aggregates can be good or bad for us. For example, modern technologies, such as cell phones and computers, help us in our work and allow us to enjoy all kinds of entertainment, but we then become dependent on, or attached to, these devices and suffer as a consequence. Technology can lead the mind out of the present and into future suffering. Therefore, we need to practice and train to develop our mind, so that we will be wise and be able to notice the tricks of ignorance. We need to train the mind to be strong, to be in the world with mindfulness, not indulging in sense objects, such as cell phones and computers, but using them wisely. We human beings are all subject to birth, aging, sickness and death. We have to face a lot of problems, difficulties, disappointments, and heartbreaks, being concerned about our family and all of the various life crises that can occur. Someday we may be injured in an accident, may have to sit in a wheelchair for a number of months, or may be bedridden for our whole life, just waiting to die. We need to learn how to be prepared to face such difficult situations. To learn and practice Vipassana, insight meditation, is necessary and useful in preparing to deal with difficult situations, with life crises. If we have not trained our mind to have right mindfulness, to be at the base, and to have right concentration to be able to separate the mind from the body, we will not be able to develop the wisdom to see reality, the objects of the senses, as it is. We will suffer mentally or physically if we are always attached to and dependent on those sense objects. On the other hand, if we depend on Dhamma, whatever happens, our mindfulness and clear comprehension will shelter and protect our mind. It will notice mental and physical phenomena right away as they arise and always return to the base. The mind protected by Dhamma becomes the knower mind that impartially, stably, and objectively observes and separates itself from all phenomena which arise, stay for a while and pass away. With wisdom the mind will be able to see the three marks of existence. The wise knower mind will see the five aggregates as they really are: impermanent, uncontrollable, dependent on conditions and not self. Then the mind will clearly understand all phenomena fall under the rules of the three marks of existence, and it will become equanimous and independent. The cultivated mind will be able to find the way to escape from suffering and the cause of suffering, and will be able to enter the Eightfold Noble Path. Everything, all phenomena, arises from a cause, through the cycle of dependent origination. If we clearly understand this, we will practice in the right way to attain the right result, and will become truly independent, without suffering. Once you have learned how to meditate, wherever you are, at a temple or a meditation center, at work or at home, with a wise mind you will be able to deal with any situation, any crisis without being affected by or overcome by the circumstances. With a well-developed mind we will be able to live well in the world. Our reactions to physical or mental contacts are the measurement, the evaluation, of the quality of our mind. We suffer because we grasp and cling to sense objects, assuming that they are us and ours. On the other hand, with wisdom we can become equanimous, independent, and live in the world in peace. Be patient, strong and brave, and practice diligently, persistently, and continuously, so that you will be able to live in the world without being overcome by and attached to all of the various arising phenomena. Remember that the way to practice Vipassana in our daily life is to maintain the 5 precepts so that the mind will be calm and stable and we can practice mindfulness and concentration. Right mindfulness means the 4 foundations of mindfulness. Choose one meditation object that you feel comfortable with and that can cause mindfulness to arise often as the base of mindfulness. Then practice sitting, walking, and chanting meditation as your formal meditation practice. Be aware when the contact at the 6 sense doors causes the mind to stray into the 2 wrong paths, the first of which is indulging in sense objects and attaching to thought. The second wrong path is craving for our practice to be calm and successful, so that we control and suppress the mind, be at the base, causing tension and stress to arise, or the mind to enter the state of deep absorption jhana, which doesn't lead us to liberation from suffering. Whenever the mind strays to the 2 wrong paths, just be aware and bring the mind back to the base. Continuously practice with effort, patience, and resoluteness until mindfulness arises spontaneously without intention. This will cause right concentration, or knower mind, to arise. The knower mind will impartially, stably, and objectively observe and separate itself from mental and physical phenomena, the 5 aggregates. This will cause the mind to see the cause and effect of the arising of phenomena, or dependent origination. Then this will cause wisdom to see that the arising phenomena fall under the rule of the 3 marks of existence, interrupting the cycle of suffering and its cause. At this moment the mind will be free from suffering for one mind moment, and Vipassana meditation has been completed. Vipassana meditation concerns only the mind, so that no matter what we are doing with the body, we can practice Vipassana at any time and anywhere. In order for us to be successful in Vipassana meditation, we have to practice formal meditation daily. This will give the mind more energy to overcome the problems of daily life. I hope everyone has enjoyed this Dhamma talk and that you will be able to apply it in your daily life. Anumodana. Sadhu. 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 Trisikkha Meditation Center, Plant City, Florida.